Hey guys, it has been a minute since I've done a podcast. Stopped off at episode 3, but we're gonna continue with episode 4. I am your host. It's Swirls, aka Peace Martini, aka you name it, bro. Scissor the rapper or whatnot. But we do have a special guest for today, and it is Queen B. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is QUINNBY, or as a formerly known system bias. I recently made the change about a month ago.
Mm.
I'm just a silly little gamer on the internet.
All right, let's get this underway. Now, I would like to start off with the guests. Yeah, formally introduce yourself and drop one interesting or two interesting facts about yourself, and then I'll ask you a question about them.
Let's see here. Some other things to know about me. As I said, I play a lot of video games. I hang out with friends a lot. I'm a really big fan of just music. A big passion of mine is music production. Like, I have the ambition, but I don't have the talent, unfortunately. Like, I get a bit frustrated with some of the software I have, but
I feel
it's
that.
fun.
I feel that.
As for like my personal things, I guess,
do
for
you
lack of a better term.
do you
Oh,
like make beats, or is it like did you always
uh,
wanted to kind of like make band music or like get into rap or whatnot? Maybe make more instrumental. Like,
uh,
what was your approach on it?
uh, yeah, I do want to make my own music, but for now, I'm just starting with like making covers and stuff. Do you know what synthesizer V is?
I heard of it. I don't know exactly what it
It's
is.
it's similar to Vocaloid. It's like a voice synthesizer.
Oh,
Right now, I am running Synthesizer V Studio 2 Pro with the 2.0 software.
right.
All the different voices. So the older voices are not only improved, but the various knobs and things you can mess with. Like it's just a lot of QL changes and just a lot better to run. But sometimes it can be frustrating. Like, for example, the say I put on a voice, choose a voice database, and I have it, sing some odd notes. Sometimes the voice just goes wherever it wants, and no matter what I do, it doesn't want to cooperate with me.
Feel that. Completely get it. There we go. And interesting that you mentioned the Vocaloid because I haven't heard that term in a minute. Usually it's the synthesizers. So it's like, are you gonna make
Mhm.
some like abstract? If you were to make music, would you gonna use the Vocaloid and then make abstract music? Like, what genre would you fit yourself in?
uh, I don't know. I think somewhere in like the pop
Mm,
sort of genre.
okay, okay.
Like, as much as I love metal music, I'm not quite sure where to go with producing metal music.
Right. And one thing that stood out to me with metal music was how they can cleanly apply the guitar distortion. I was like, I wasn't a fan because like starting music or whatnot, that distortion thing was such an easy thing to kind of come across if you're not careful with the volume levels, right? And
Mhm.
that's just one thing that kind of I brushed over, but did not realize when it came to like rock or metal or new metal, any type of like subgenre of metal itself. It's just like how to cleanly apply that distortion effect on guitar. It astounds me now. Like it takes some volume balancing and some clarity to get a distorted guitar through the system. And I also
Yeah.
learned, right? And I also learned that uh, even my own microphone for my studio mic that I do streams with, it has an instrument plug-in on the back of it. So that means I can just plug in a guitar,
Ooh.
like a clean version or whatnot, play it, and then add distortion effects after. And I didn't realize you could do this. And it just seems like the cleanest way to apply distortion. Like, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I was curious about. Yeah, I appreciate you spilling the tea. I'll formally introduce myself. I am right. I'm Mid Swirls, as you guys know, but I'm comfortable with dropping my real name since people kind of know me personally in this channel as well. My name is Marcus Sullivan. I am a multi. I'm a multimedia personality. I make gaming content, podcast content, as you can see here, John Reduce Podcast. The main channel is It's World. I do gaming content there, and then I have two different genre-based music channels. One's Scissorp, which is the rapping branch, and then the other one is Peace Martini, which is the band music branch. My goal for the band music branch is to kind of kickstart it back again because the last song I made was I think 2 years ago. I took a big hiatus on it because it was hard to produce all the songs from scratch, and around that time I was fairly new at producing. But now that I've kind of went down the rapping journey and was more focused on balancing volume rather than just making everything from scratch and balancing everything at once. I should have started with the rap. It makes the most sense to start with the rap. That way I can get better at making more, multi-layered tracks in general. But yeah, I will start back making Peace Martini music soon. And yeah, I'm also a concept artist. My biggest accomplishment, and I'm happy I've done this recently, I made a GitHub page where my Destiny 2 season concept called Season of Hidden Agenda is almost complete. It is almost done. I have just about everything kind of organized, clean, sleek looking. All I'm missing is just the extra garnishments and the extra layered details for all the characters. And I'm just excited that a concept that I thought and then scrapped like a few years later, I picked back up and then was able to complete it and even make it into a GitHub page. I covered a lot of milestones, but I think my biggest challenge is just like fighting the motivational aspect. I have grown depression as a result of not being able to do the things I love, whether it be a job, interference, like having a full time job where I got to devote more of my time onto a job, or just a lack of just a lack of motivation all around. And I'm just happy that I'm kickstarting everything back. Ever since I've been doing all the things that that I love, like playing guitar, stuff like that, I've been a much happier person. Yeah, that's me though. That's my background. And did you have any questions about that, Quimby?
Um, I don't think so.
All right, that's cool. That means we can move on. All right, so time for the questions. What's a ballpark of questions you want to be asked? Like how many? Because the podcast can be as long or as short as you like.
Huh, let's aim for like 30 minutes to an hour. So,
Well, that'll work.
yeah. Mhm.
I'll make it work. All right. So we'll just go as long as we like, conversate as long as we like, let it flow until 30 minutes or so. However long.
Mhm.
This the 30 minutes is the baseline at least. So gotcha. All right, so
Yeah.
we'll start off with question number one. What's the smallest thing for which you are grateful for?
Smallest thing I'm grateful for. That's actually a really good question.
Of course. Take your time.
I guess just the little things in general, like, I finally got a computer last year. It's
Right.
working really nice. I've been able to play more games and hang with more friends.
That's fair. Yeah. Because it's like, it's as basic as a question as it is and insightful as it is, it's more nuanced than that. It's like, you could pinpoint a small detail that led to a byproduct of all the good things that came about of it, like the computer example, right? But it's like just to pinpoint it down to one wouldn't really be accurate. So I get your point. I get it.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see. This is a tough question for me. Um, oh no. I think the OG guy that made the doc is back on it because
Oh,
he has a link to the doc, right? But let me see. I'm not touching it or anything. I'm just looking at it. Anyway, smallest thing for which I am grateful for. Um, this might not be a small thing, but it was a choice that was outside my control that I'm glad my mother made. Right? It was the I said it on Roblox in the atheist Christian religion debate or whatever. But
mhm.
yeah, my dad didn't have that great of an outlook on the religion. He was more into like the corporal punishment, spank and pray, as I'd said in the Roblox thing. And my
Ah,
mom deciding to take me to therapy was the single best decision she made. I'm, like I said, I'm very thankful and grateful for her doing that because I probably wouldn't even be in the same spot as I am today if it wasn't for her making that decision. And
hmm.
when we talked about it, she cried. I've never seen my mother cry until that conversation, and it's gonna hold a lot of weight in my heart from now on because She was concerned for me being one of those, one of those statistics, if that makes sense. Like she didn't wanted me to be another statistic because I wasn't receiving corporal punishment that well. Like yeah.
Yeah.
All right, question number two. Question number two, if you're free to move on. Who had who has had the most positive impact on your life?
I definitely think it would have to be my mom, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone in my family has, you know, what's the word? Had positive impacts, sorry, in my life. But definitely my mother the most. Like all the advice she's given me, I've taken to heart, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy with where I am in life. I've met the right friends. They're not, psychopaths like my warned me about, but
No, I get it.
mhm.
Um, this is man.
Just how to go. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, continue. I didn't know you were done. No, continue, continue.
And just, life advice in general, make your bed, which I don't do. I'm lazy. uh, but for the most part, yeah, I just keep myself tidy. I don't do stupid things like get drunk at parties or whatever. I mean, for one, I don't even like alcohol. It tastes bad,
Facts. I
for
feel
one.
that. Like I'm of age and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the big hype is, but yeah, I get it. What was that on?
Oh. uh, that's all that comes to mind.
Okay,
I'm
for
sure
sure.
I'm not
Yeah.
really the best person. I'm not the best talker.
Nah, it's alright. It's alright. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving an effort. Let's see. Let me see. This is a tough one. I probably have to say my mom too. Just following up off of the therapy thing. It wasn't just that, but just about what you had and the values that your mom gave to you. She dropped gems of advice, and whenever I used to be that jerk uh, asshole kid back then. But growing up, right, I kind of outgrown that, matured, and then my mom, whenever she drops advice, I just shut up and listen. I just listen, and I think the three most handy lethal tools that a person can have is one, being a good listener. Two, being I made up this term about a month ago, but it's called glue brained. It's an adjective. It's saying that you're open minded and willing to take in new information and consider it. Right.
Ah.
And then three is just having a hunger for knowledge, just in general. Because if there's one word I barely and rarely use, it's wisdom. Knowledge is just the ability to take in information. Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge practically in life. So I do hold wisdom, the word wisdom, to a high standard. Okay. Let's see. Well, on to the next question then. If you could use a time machine, would you rather have one that only goes back in time or one that only goes forward?
Ooh, tough question. Um, hmm. I think realistically, I would go with a time machine that only goes backwards. Because for one, the future doesn't exist. But even if a time machine does have the power to go forward in time, I'm afraid what's gonna happen or what's gonna be like, especially with how we are now, like especially the state of the United States and tariffs or whatnot. But like
Facts.
at the same time, like going back into the one that goes back in time, like I would change so much stuff, like with whatever power I have. But at the same time, having that power and over the consequences of time, like changing time, uh, it's been like, oh, how do I want to do this? Because like if I change too much, the present is gonna be all messed up. If I don't change enough, we're gonna be right where we are.
But to be fair, it shouldn't be too much of a concern because if it's only going back, you don't have to worry about what the result might be whenever you get done changing whatever you changed in the past and then go back to present or future.
True,
Because
true.
once you go back, you only go back. So if you go back and just choose to stay, you're really just in the same time period as anybody else would be, and then you're just carrying on with life, unless you go back in that
Hmm.
time machine again. Because I do hear a lot of like
Yeah,
paradoxes with time machines, and man, it is a doozy to get into.
yeah. Especially the paradox thing. I'm afraid I'm gonna cause a paradox.
Another thing,
Oh.
depending on how far you go back, um, Earth probably won't be in the same position. And this is a terrifying thing that I read. Yeah, Earth probably wouldn't be in the same position as you started, and then you're just in outer space. I'm like, bro, that terrified me, bro. But
Oh yeah, very.
the only thing that counter argues that in my mind that popped up in my head is the fact that gravity is so strong on Earth, it should keep you grounded on it. But it depends on what state you be whenever you're moving in time. Depends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna make or break this whole thing about the time
Yeah,
paradox thing.
I never thought about that. That's
Right? Yeah.
kind of a neat thing. I mean, scary, but definitely cool.
Right? Yeah. Let me see. Okay, this is just off the top of the head. I just would like to know out of curiosity. All right, so if you were to represent yourself as an animal, where it be like personality or anything like that, just quality, what animal would you pick?
Ooh. Hmm. Well, there are a few animals I think a bit of personality off. Like, hmm.
You can list them if you want. It ain't gotta be one.
Just picking one sea and one land animal, which are my two favorites, would be a horse and a shark.
Horses are
One, I think
majestic.
horses are can be absolutely majestic creatures. Like they have pretty much have like hair like us humans do. Like their manes,
Oh
like
yeah, oh yeah.
so awesome, and like horses are really fast. Like they're huge, but they're fast.
Right.
Most importantly, they're humble. Is that the word? I'm probably thinking of a different word.
Almost an off the cuff one. Interesting. But yeah.
As were sharks.
Mhm.
Like they're often misunderstood. I think sharks are pretty cool, but Jaws, the
I was like,
movie,
we can blame Josh
has
for that.
permanently ruined the. Oh, you got something? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying we can definitely blame Josh for that. That's the first thing I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. But
Gotcha.
yeah, the whole misunderstood factor. Like sharks can be super adorable and like fun to be around. Like yeah, they can be scary. They got sharp teeth and a lot of them. But in general, they're just really chill creatures, minding their own business. They eat when they need to, and it's kind of your own fault if one attacks you.
Oh, of course. I've seen a person like a scuba diver pet a shark. I'm like, dude, they really are water dogs. I think one of the titles was water dogs. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, they really do act like one once you pet them.
yeah, yeah. I feel like if any creature in the sea would be the dog of the sea, it would definitely be a shark.
I agree. Now that I've seen the video, I
Like going
definitely
back to like
agree.
yeah, back to like the shark attack thing. Like if I'm in a very bad mood and I'm very angry, do not test me. I will bite you very badly. It's like a wrong place, wrong time thing. Like, if you're not gonna comfort me, go away, or I will hurt you. Okay,
Move.
maybe a bit too far there, but yeah, if I'm irritable, just leave me alone.
I feel that. I feel that. I've been thinking about the animal thing for a bit, right? And the one that just makes the most sense to me is a crow. And some people might be like, "Oh, you're just depressed and all black. You like all black or whatnot." I'm like, no, it's just the intelligence that a crow has for it just being a bird, right? And when you think about the brain of a bird, it's tiny, but it's like you see the actions of a crow, you think the opposite. You think they're like the Einsteins, although there's Einstein parrots or whatnot, the birds. They're really intelligent. Crows, for being their size, are really smart, and I just like how intuitive they are. And it reminds me of how like whenever I do debates and discussions or whatnot, I'd like to attack an old redundant point like religion, right, with a new aspect. And there's an atheist walks into a bar string that I recorded, and I'll play it back to back, not back to back, but like every now and again, just to see what I said, see what the person said, and just consider the things that has been said. And man, even he himself said, "Man, that's a really good." Now I have to think about that for a sec, and that's exactly what I want in a discussion. My goal isn't just to say I'm right and you're wrong. My goal is just to whatever response come out of my mouth, I want to make sure it makes the most sense and has the most impact on a person. I want to get them to think, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, a crow or a raven, either or. Probably more leaning more crows though. That they're the closest. And if there's a whole reincarnation thing, I definitely would like to be a crow. Would love it. um, yeah. Did you any other takes before we move on?
Uh, no, that's no problem.
Right, for sure, for sure. If you were an inanimate object, what would you be and why?
Okay, this might be a bit stupid. Just a rock or boulder.
I'm coughing. I'm coughing. I'm coughing.
Like going back to the whole me being a lazy thing. Like if I could just be anywhere, like a rock or a boulder, just sitting there doing nothing, preferably not being disturbed, usually not disturbed, I would.
Mm. Man, this is a tough one. Let me see. The first thing that came to mind whenever I
So,
asked that question was a lava lamp. Well, lamps are cool though. I'd be a lava lamp.
yeah.
What was it? Oh, here's a good one. Okay, question number 8. What is something you're terrible at but wish you could do well?
Probably drawing. Like,
I feel that.
yeah, art. Like, there's some really talented artists on the internet. I'm friends with several, actually.
Wow.
Like, this is cool. I want to be able to do this, and I just can't. Like, I've definitely drawn a couple things. I'm a bit proud of them, I'll admit that, but they're no, Mona Lisas or
Valid, yeah.
Picasso's or Starry Night. But it's sort of like, because I'm not that great at it, I like to think of it as like a simplistic art style, in a way.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm the same way. Because I'm a concept artist, and that's different than just being a regular artist. Regular artists, they'd make the sketch and then color it after. I barely like to color my drawings, and I barely do color in my drawings to begin with. So whenever I'm drawing a character, either it's going to be a white background with black lines or a black background with white lines. And it has been that. You can check the what was it? You'll see a few drawings I've made in the Season of Hidden Agenda page that I have up recently. You'll notice that not a lot of my drawings have color, and whenever they do have color, I'm just using the bucket function. I'm just making sure all my lines connect carefully and whatnot, and just use the bucket
Yeah.
function to kind of make at least the base palette. But yeah, I do want to get better at drawing. Oh, you were saying?
Let me send you one of the things I drew, actually. Like, since this is a recording, I want to see if you can, like, just put this on the screen somewhere, like when you edit. But if you
Oh
don't,
yeah,
that's fine.
of course.
This little guy. I sent it right to you. Not the group chat. I don't think they would see this, but
I was like, please DM it. I don't want them to know if they're busy.
this little guy. His name is Skipper, spelled SKPR, all capitals.
Mhm.
It's not an acronym for anything. I just thought it sounded cool.
It definitely does, especially the way you spelled it. Especially the way you spelled it.
Yeah, a little bit of lore with him. He's got he's a little robot dude, robot dragon from the future, but he can also use magic. The little thing on the side that's there, that's his magic staff.
Ooh.
I think this is my most well drawn out one, and even this looks a bit cartoony, but I'm proud of it. Like what is going on? But I definitely think I can do better with this sort of style. If not, get a new one.
For sure, for sure. Because you just don't like you develop your style. If that makes sense. Because like some of my drawings, I can just tell by looking at it that it is made by me. Because just based off, because I'm a good drawer, I'm just terrible at handwriting. So whenever I'm writing like words and whatnot, it looks bad. It looks like cat
Yeah.
scratch. But then when I draw, like also even if I pretend like this is a funny thing, even if I pretend like I'm drawing the letters rather than handwriting it, it looks way better. Because like I think it's a whole mindset thing, and the whole mindset changes about what I'm doing. Because if it's just like handwriting, I'm just writing down what I need to write down as fast as I can, quick information, whatever, etc. But if it's
Yeah.
like drawing, I'm taking my time. I'm using very thoughtful and meaningful lines, and they're a bit more straight, a bit more defined as my handwriting would be. So I'm not sure what the science behind it is, but I definitely might look into it whenever I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. But yeah, did you have anything else to add?
Um, I guess also the whole music production thing. Like, I still don't know how to use like the patterns and stuff that's in FL Studio. Like, I
I'm
got the basics
jealous.
with like the effects down.
Hmm.
'Cause like I said, I mainly work on covers and stuff. But even then, it's like a bit of a struggle. Like, why does it sound like this? It's just ah, let it get better.
But to be fair, because Studio 1.4 is kind of it's very similar to FL Studio, like darn near same layout. It's just FL has more like colorful layout and whatnot, more like flair in their designs. I think those apps are really like leaning more towards beat making rather than, and obviously you can easily voice record on it, but like the issues that I ran with on like Studio 1.4, for instance, like recording dropout. I didn't know that's a thing. That was a thing. But while I was recording and I was in the zone, I like to do things in one big take rather than just taking pieces. So while I'm doing it, it just stops. The recording stops, but then the beat keeps going, and I can't tell unless I'm looking at it. And usually I don't look at my
Huh.
screen whenever I'm recording like verses or doing anything vocal related because I want to kind of get in the zone and not mess up the tone. And so I decided to swap over to Bandlab, and I started making beats on Bandlab or whatnot. But I might eventually go back to Studio 1.4, and I'm jealous. I said I'm jealous because FL Studio was the app I initially wanted, but my desktop doesn't support it. I was so upset when I
Oh,
realized. But yeah. Oh wait, is it my turn? Let me see. Let me not get too lost. What was it? Something you're terrible at, but wish you could do well. Okay, gotcha. Hmm. It'd probably be playing. Let me see. Playing guitar while singing has been one of my biggest challenges. And yeah, I made a few like Peace Martini songs, right? But I'm not playing while singing the songs. I'm playing all the pieces for it, right? And then just recording the vocals after. Now that's basically what I'm doing. But I do
mhm.
usually, for practice, start with the rhythm and singing in the lyrics, right, or whatnot, before every song's made. So it's like I've gotten better over time because of that. But am I the best at it? Of course not. Do I want to be the best? Maybe, right? But I want to be mediocre at best. I want to be mediocre. But yeah,
Yeah,
anything else to add before we move on?
should be it for now.
All right, bad.
Um,
Question number 10. What was the most recent thing that made you cry?
ooh, I think there was this one movie I watched. My new favorite. I think that's the most recent time I remember crying and crying a lot. By the way,
Oh man.
have you seen The Wild Robot at all?
I don't think I have.
I believe it's a DreamWorks film based on the books. Here, I actually have the box set. I've yet to open it to read anything at
Interesting.
all. Again, super lazy. Yeah, The Wild Robot by Peter Brown.
Hmm.
Can a robot survive in the wilderness? The movie takes place, well, on an island where a package that contained robots crash landed on an island, and there was no humans, all wildlife. And
Hmm.
as the subtitle of the book I just read off, uh, a super high intelligent robot crash landed in this wilderness, and she has to survive. Like, animals don't know what she is; they're afraid of her, and so she has to do her best to survive with whatever's around. Uh, I don't want to go into spoilers because I think it's a very beautiful movie that everyone should watch at least once.
I'll look into it.
But yeah, just it's similar to Wally, I think, in terms of the
I looked up the
emotional
image. I
factor.
looked up the
But
image. Yeah, it
mhm,
does get. It definitely gives off Wally vibes.
mhm.
Wow.
I mean, there's no near death involved, but let's just say there's a very strong bond, and it's like super precious and adorable. It's just ah.
I've never heard of this. Wow, I have not heard of this.
It's just beautiful stories with that much emotional impact that really make me cry. And I'm an emotional person,
Me
but I don't
neither.
cry over like little things, at least for the most part. But like it's like super deep, beautiful story. Like I can't help but shed a tear.
For sure, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. And that's gonna be something because I don't watch a lot of movies, and I only ever watch movies whenever I'm recommending one. So technically, yeah, I'm gonna look into this one definitely.
Hmm.
Um, what else? Did you have anything else before I answer?
No, go ahead.
All right, for sure, for sure. The most recent thing that made me cry. Uh, it's ironic enough. I don't watch a lot of anime, but people assume that since I'm learning the Japanese language itself, that I do. But the very last anime I've watched was called Shiki, and it's a dark fantasy vampire kind of apocalypse anime.
Ooh.
And what I loved about it is that there is no good guy, bad guy. It's a gray line. And that's what I love about it. I like how neutral it is. Like you kind of feel for the vampires in a way, but you also feel for the village people because they're getting invaded in general, right? And what made me cry, or not, but not ball my eyes out, but like I do tear up every now and again. What made me tear up was a scene where the woman was predicting all this was going to happen, and the village was doubting her. And there's a scene where she's losing her sanity throughout the whole series, and I'm not sure if you're interested in if you're gonna watch it. Are you gonna watch it? I'm not sure. It's pretty
Uh,
graphic.
I might. I've been meaning to watch anime in general because I haven't watched any in a while. But
Gotcha,
I'll put
gotcha.
it on the watch list. It's
This
called
is an
Shiki,
intro. Yeah,
right?
Shiki, and I can type it in DM if you want. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I gotcha. I'll do it afterwards. And this would be the last question too. That way we can kind of keep it kind of short and sweet and whatnot.
Mhm.
Unless you want more questions or like two more, three more, squeeze a few in. Not a big deal.
Let's have about 5 more
All
questions.
right, gotcha, gotcha. All right, but yeah, it. I'll just continue with the scene. I'm not sure if you want to watch it, but I'm gonna kind of just keep it kind of vague on purpose. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, woman predicted some of the events was gonna happen. She slowly lost her sanity because I think her son passed. I think. Yeah. And there's a scene where the protesters are running down the road, and it's a huge, wide, beautiful shot. Sunset in the background and everything, and you see this riot walking towards uh, this one woman, and this is the woman that we were talking about. She's walking the opposite direction, and the protesters were running one direction. They passed each other, and then when they pass each other, it focuses on the single woman, and then she turns around, doesn't say anything, and then continues to walk in the same direction. What made me tear up was the fact that she was right about everything. They called her crazy, and not even getting acknowledged that she was correct or whatnot, and her losing her sanity and whatnot, and getting no empathy on it. Um, it kind of it hit home in a way, shape, or form. If anything, hit home, and it enhances the fact that there's no good or bad, and it tells you right there, there's no good or bad. It's a gray line, and and it makes you unsure. You pick a side, and then the more you listen to the other side, it's like, okay, well, I vouch for this side, or I empathize for this side. And the crazy thing about it is that after I got done watching it, that was the intent of the show to begin with. Yeah, they don't. Nobody. It's a story where there ain't no good or bad. It ain't like what was it? I forgot what's called. No Hero Academia or My Hero
Did
Academia.
not hear it.
Yeah,
I was just thinking that
that,
actually.
and then Naruto, where like they follow the common theme of the main character kind of gets their ass beat in a way, shape, or form, and then some side characters like, you got this, you can do this, and then they come back. Like they follow that. They don't follow that in the dark fantasy, right? The quote hits home. Like it nails it. They say nobody wins. It's an anime where nobody wins.
Oof.
Everybody's in the wrong. Everybody's evil here. And they think they're doing good, but they're just a soldier doing what's right in their opinion due to their mindset. And I'm like, this could be applied to a lot of things in real life. And that's why it resonates deep
Yeah.
with me. But yeah, that was my yeah. Don't forget to remind, like, because I do forget, especially when I get lost in the sauce on editing. Just remind me to drop that anime because it is a dope, and I love the underground anime. It's one of the underground animes that I love. I love watching the underground lesser known animes. Let's see. That was a good one. Let me see. Number yeah. Okay, so number 12. You said a few questions. I'm sure. Number 12. What is the most trivial thing about which you have a strong opinion on?
There's a lot. I think trivial thing of strong opinion on. Um, it's another tough question. I can't think of any because like several pet peeves come to mind, but
Right.
it's sort of just like
I guess we can
let's
count
say
that.
something can have a strong opinion because there's just
I
something.
guess a pet peeve can
Uh,
count. That's basically what they are, right?
I mean, fair enough. If I choose a pet peeve of mine, it's people who eat food loudly. Like, listen, I know we're humans. We need to eat food to survive, you know? But for the love of God, keep your mouth closed and don't make sounds while you're eating. Unless you just go, or whatever. Like, you're how good it is. Like, yeah,
Right. I mean, you like the food.
I'm
I
fine
get
with
it.
that. But you just go, it's like, no, stop. No one needs to hear that. Like, keep your mouth closed. Stop chewing so loud lately. Like, please.
For
But if
sure.
it's
Man.
something more general that I think other people can agree with, it's also very trivial. Rotating doors.
Hmm.
Why? We're perfectly fine with regular doors that go one way to open, stay way backwards to close. Why do you assist a new door with a system where it spins and if something bad happens, it can go back and like it hit you or like I know it's for crowds and really big buildings where a lot of people walk in, like a hospital or whatever, but like there's just something so flawed about it. I don't get it.
My
Like,
biggest concern
ah,
was like it's kind of similar to the elevator, right? Where like yeah, it goes up and down and whatnot, but then you hear the stories about the elevators getting like malfunctioning and getting stuck, and it's just that claustrophobic like situation you get kind of put into. Well, the rotating door is kind of a less watered down version of it for me. I could my biggest concern is just walking through it, one of the hinges kind of fuck up, and then I'm stuck in the little region where you're mid walk through it, and I'm like,
oh
okay,
yeah,
I gotta wait for help or I gotta damage this thing in order to get free.
yeah. Especially if it's like an automatic rotating door.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
that can.
automatic, I'm cooked.
Yeah, like a point the elevator thing. Well, it is automatic, but automatic, you know. But if the automated thing gets stuck, like, what can you
Right,
do? You have to wait for
it's a
help. It's like,
harder, more
why?
nuanced situation you put yourself into, and I'm more comfortable with the fact that they probably do have it. I'm just not, I'm probably being ignorant about it. Who knows? But if automated devices, especially like rotating doors, if they're automated, can have a failsafe where they can go manual and have a failsafe manual hinge where it just works normally with just human push. I'd be more content with it because if it does get stuck, failsafe applies, and then boom, I'm back. It's back to normal. I'm out again,
Yeah.
type thing. Same thing applies to elevators. Same thing applies to escalators. Same things apply to festival machines and whatnot, uh, theme park machines and whatnot, Six Flag machines, etc. They probably already have this stuff implemented already, but as long as they have that thing implemented, that's when I'm more content on using those things.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, did I even answer? What was the triple thing about? I probably didn't.
No, yeah. I kind of rambled on. I'm sorry.
Well, I tangent. I piggybacked off your take because they're interesting takes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. Yeah, by not even gonna drop names. I'm only gonna drop titles. Hopefully she doesn't watch it. My stepsister does the chewing food loudly thing, and
Oof.
I have mentioned it to her a good few times. Now I just jokingly like point it out every time she does it. I jokingly point it out. I'll either mock her in a very lighthearted way, of course, or be like, "Dang, girl, you hungry or something, man? You ain't had no food or something? Like you hadn't had no food in a minute. What's going on?" And yeah, nah, yeah, I still tease her about it because she got my 9-year-old niece doing it now, and I'm like, yeah, I do the same thing to her now though.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, hopefully the habits drop, but I think she graduated school and still doing this, so it's a big concern. I'm not gonna lie, but let me not get too deep. Let me not get too deep, just in case she watches this. And if you're watching this, I ain't mean it. My fault. I ain't mean it. I take it back everything I said. Anyway. Um. Okay. And you said you've worked before, right? This is a question that's job related. All right. If you've had more than one job, which job taught you the most?
I actually do have one job, but I think what taught me the most will probably be working food service and catering.
Oh man, I feel this.
Yeah, the first company I worked for, we mainly worked in the kitchen. You know, prepare the food, put stuff in the fridge, freezer, put breadcrumbs on the chicken fingers for the kids. It's like, you know what? This is really neat. I might try to learn culinary on my own time, but it can also be stressful because like I was super new to it. Like when they actually put us in the kitchen at the shop, we called it,
Mm-hmm.
because you know that's what a kitchen actually is like. Okay, so we do this, and then I put that there, and then I don't know, I'm doing chefy soap. Because yeah, I've definitely made mistakes. Like we're only human, we all make
Of
mistakes.
course, of course.
But it was definitely an experience. Like, you know, I learned, you know, like you don't need exact measurements for everything, especially with how much we do prepare for actual events. I learned it's more important to have, like, it's good to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Great quote.
That happened before, actually, like in an event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were supposed to have 300 something, like, chicken breasts for meals. We were down by, like, 100. And one of the chefs had to go out of his, like, he had to leave the kitchen, go to the store, and buy rotisserie. And I got so stressed, I'm like, no, I can't handle this. And I emotionally broke down. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I had to go outside and cool down. And I was done for the rest of the night.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess there's a couple things like learning culinary, learning that mistakes, no matter how little, have consequences. And we as humans need to fix that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Dang, you took my culinary answer. Dang, I did work at I worked at a culinary position at Easy More. I was a deli associate, and before I went into the job, I've never ever like used a fryer. I never battered no like chicken breasts, chicken like tender fillets or whatnot. I've never did it until I got that job, and I've gotten better. The thing about it, I'm a very fast learner. I learn things very quick, and especially if you explain it really good, it probably just either takes one or two explanations and boom, you're done. I got it down pat, and over time, I'll master it. And yeah, but I'll say if anything, because I do have cop out answers. One of them is definitely Aaron's. Aaron's is the furniture store basically, and I was a delivery driver, and you probably never seen my stature at all. Um, I'm I'm tall but super skinny, so it's like I didn't think I'd have the capacity to even do a job like this because I'm removing love seats and whatnot. Love seats are the heaviest piece of furniture that we have to deliver and whatnot, whether it's boxed up or whatnot. And I still have this scar on my left forearm trying to move a love seat by myself with a dolly on a truck. And then these love seats have, not even considering the weight they have these sharp metal braces on the bottom that keeps it steady whenever it's on the ground. And whenever I was moving one fell. It was falling over. I tried to catch it or whatnot. It was gonna fall over regardless because I wasn't that strong. The sharp end grazed my forearm, and I have this scar from Aaron. So and every time I look at it, I'm like, yep, I think of Aaron's and how physically taxing a job like that was for my body. And but if there was anything I learned from Aaron's is you don't have to always have brawn or physical mass in order to move heavy things or in order to do things that may seem impossible or out of reach for a person like me of this stature. Of course, I applied everything that I learned from Aaron's onto my new job, which I work at FedEx. I work at FedEx now, and yeah, every box is not a love seat. Yeah, right. But whenever it comes to like ICs is the equivalent to a love seat, no matter the size. Weight's the same, just around the same. I have these methods that I developed from errands to apply it to these boxes. And today, this happened today. I was moving an IC box to a tugger, and a tugger is like a little trucking device, right? That carries
Mhm.
all these big heavy boxes to their respective stations. And I was moving with myself. He helped, and I was like, okay, we can just put this on the top and swing it over. He's like, oh, you're clever for that. I didn't think of it that way. And yeah, I'm two lethal combos. I'm smart and I'm lazy. So if I'm smart enough to do things the easiest route or whatnot, I'll do it. And that carried over to coworkers very, very fast. So one day we were working 53 trailers, and whenever we say 53, we mean 53-foot trailers, which are they're the extremely long ones that you see on the road and whatnot, the cliche ones you think you'd expect to see.
The tractor
Yeah,
trailers.
yeah, yeah. And there's no rollers. We put rollers in there manually. We have devices that we can use to put it in there manually, but they're heavy. And they didn't have one in there whenever I was working at Unload. I normally don't work there either, since my stature. I'm better at sliding boxes than I am lifting them. So whenever we were in there, I was like, I'm not gonna take each IC, bring it from one end of the 53-foot trailer down to the other end of the 53-foot trailer just for me to carry it out again. No, I'm not gonna do that. So what I did instead, I call it Operation Jenga, because these boxes are stacked. So I pull them out. I pull out the ones that will cause all of them to topple. I topple them as long as they're okay, right? I don't really do it from high distance. And once
Okay.
they're all scattered across the trailer floor, I get a long IC box, place it horizontal, and push them out like reverse Tetris. Best way I can picture that in my head. And I push them all out. One person saw that, and ever since I look into those 53s now, and they don't have a roller, that's the first thing they do. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. Being the stature that I am, I'm not gonna walk back and forth carrying these. But no, I'm gonna be the Hulk by the time I'm done with that shift. But yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, I gotta say errands. Errands is the biggest one for me.
I see.
Let's see.
If you don't mind me going back to the catering
Oh,
thing,
of course,
uh,
of
the,
course.
yeah, the company I work for now, actually work front of house. So, usually, uh, how's it go? We go there just about an hour or two before the event actually starts, and we, prepare everything in the back hallway. We prepare drinks
Hmm.
and put those in dispensers and put those on like tables that are reset. You know,
Right.
uh, and once everything's out, the guests start arriving. So often, oftenly I get put on drink stations, so I have to be out there and make sure that like coffee dispenser, lemonade, water, whatever, make sure that's topped off, or not running too low. Uh,
Hmm.
it's a bit back and forth, but for the most part, it's kind of just stand there. But other times we have to bust plates and stuff. Well, that comes later. When everyone's eating their food already.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a bit stressful because you gotta ask uh, patrons if they want their food. They gotta take multiple plates. That's might be clean, still has food on them, has a lot of utensils. It's like it's so heavy. But there's also the guests and the people aspect because sometimes like people are very needy and sometimes very rude.
Oh
Like
yeah.
dog, I'm here to like we made well we didn't make the food but we put the food out here for you. We're taking away your dishes. We're manning the buffets. Like what else do you want from us? But sometimes it's just not justified. But we understand. Like there's not a lot of food left in the thing, and but sometimes I don't. Uh, customers are or not customers. Guests are genuinely rude. It's like, dog, please, I just work here. I didn't do anything wrong. I can just take it from that part. It's just that the customer is not always right.
Oh man, that's some in mind too. It was a.
But it's also, oh,
Oh
sorry,
no,
what
continue,
were you
continue,
saying?
continue. I'll have it in mind.
Yeah, but then the event's over, guests are leaving, then we have to take everything off the table is trash, any dishes are left over, and then sometimes we reset where we take out everything, tables, tablecloths, everything. Then, well, tables we need to take out anywhere, and then we put on new tablecloths, and we gotta put on, you know, uh, so it's for like really fancy events.
Right.
We gotta put down plates, multiple different types of forks, knives, and spoons. It's like, oh yeah, this event is gonna kill me tomorrow, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah. And I got two questions. I was gonna say this too. I got two questions for you, but either we could just pick one and just bounce off of it, and then once we bounce off of it, just go ahead and sign out, or we could just do both because we're already 50 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, let's go with questions. Why not?
Sure. All right, this one's off the top of my head, but what common quote do you hear that you disagree with? And that's why I was like, because you said the customer's always right is the BS thing. I was like, that would have been a good answer.
uh, Forgive my brain of a goldfish. I need to see what these common quotes like.
Oh, sure, sure. I have one already. If you want me to answer first, while you think about it.
Hmm. Uh, um, I'm really trying here, dog. I'm sorry.
All right. Not now that I think about it, I have two in mind.
Hmm. You know, fellas, what common quotes do you have that you don't agree with? I guess.
One was the
Maybe.
growing up, I used to hear that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And you do not want to tell a suicidal person that. Cause think about it. I want you to
Yeah.
abstract. Do you want a permanent solution to a temporary problem? Think about it. Like bullying, for instance.
Yeah.
It's a temporary problem, but do you want a permanent solution to that? You think about it. Once you solve this problem, you're never going to deal with it again. So I want them to extrapolate that quote to suicidal people. Suicidal people don't want to be alive. So it's a scary. You got to choose what you say
Yeah.
around people that are mentally off like this. Very, very wise. You got to choose your words wisely because, like, yeah, you do not want to set off a person like that. They're already in a volatile state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all it takes is a quote like that to end their life. So whenever I hear it, I get my blood boils. I disagree with it immensely. And the person that made that quote, I'm assuming they don't. Well, pardon my lingo. I'm assuming they don't have depression. Some people that make depression quotes never had depression. They only just describe it. And
Yep.
there's one quote where, like, I feel it. Depression is like another person telling you how colorful the world is. That is an amazing quote, and I wish it wasn't true, but it is. I feel it. That's one of the two, though. But yeah, did you have one already?
I don't think so.
Man,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got nothing.
dang it! Bounce off the
Step up
customers,
on Google.
always
I'm
right.
sorry.
Bounce off the customers, always right. No, they're not.
I mean, yeah, no, they're not. Like, uh, for example, people that yell at others that work retail. Like,
Oh man,
you
that should
understand
have been pet
what
peeve.
people who work retail go through?
Oh yes, yes.
Like, I don't know what it's like to be, behind the counter,
It's funny
but
because Marissa mentioned this. Now that I think of it, I have a really good memory. Marissa mentioned this in that discussion we had in that booth on Roblox, the mic'd up,
mhm,
and she mentioned, yeah. Do you think she was like, do you agree with this? Do you think people that yell at people that yell at the retail workers should work retail? Or do you think people should work retail as an etiquette lesson or etiquette class or whatnot, just so they can understand? I'm like, dude, yes, because
yes,
I
absolutely.
see people yell at retail and I feel horrible because usually, and I told her the same thing. Usually, the people that work at the retail, I mean, unfortunately, they're the face of the store. So the person they're going to yell at is obviously the retail worker, right? But they got to
Yeah.
understand and abstract that it's not entirely their fault or their fault to begin with. It could have been another coworker,
Mhm.
and now they're dealing with the brunt of what another coworker caused. So it's like I feel horrible whenever I see a retail worker getting yelled at.
Yeah.
Horrible. And what was it? Yeah, man, that's a good one. I was like, that should have been pet peeve. That definitely should have been pet peeve.
I have kind of a silly one that's more of just a pet peeve.
Hmm. Sure, yeah.
uh, Well, it's not even a quote. It's just a saying. What was it? Uh, I could care less. Yeah, that's not a quote. That's
Uh,
just a saying. For one, that's not
that means
correct.
you
It's
care
I
enough.
couldn't care less.
Saying I could care less means you care enough to mention it.
Yeah.
That's what I never got. I never understood that. And I thought that was the saying too. People said it so often, so wrong, and I thought that was just the saying. No, it's I couldn't care less.
hmm
Man, yeah, no, that's a good one. And I had the other one that I had in mind. The what was it? The be yourself. As vague as it is and as positive as it may sound, if you're like a killer or whatnot, that's perfect for you to say exactly what you are, a killer, and that's not a good thing. And be yourself. I'm guessing it applies to good people. So how about we rearrange the quote to instead of be yourself, be the best version you can be. And no, I'm not talking about be the best killer. No, be the best version, as in having a way better positive impact on society than what you're doing now, or than what you were doing
Yeah,
before.
be the best version of you you can be.
Of course, of course. But yeah, did you have anything to add?
I don't think
All right,
so.
for sure, for sure. What was? Oh dang, I think I lost it. Let me see. What was it?
Did you get something else?
Yeah, it was the other question. I forgot what it was. Where is it? I'm looking for it. Oh, yep. No, I found it again. All right, all right. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Is there something about you that people assume because of your appearance or demeanor? What is a trait or preference you have that people don't expect you to have?
Ooh. Hmm.
I got a good response to this, but I'll wait. I'll let you go first.
Well, given my body shape and that I'm just kind of average in general,
Right,
like as a person, people, I feel like people might perceive me just a sleaze bag because, I'm overweight. I've got a beard that needs trimming, well, shaving rather. It's like, wow, please don't look at me like that or view me this way. Like, trust me, there's a lot more going on the inside than the outside.
right.
What was the perfect question?
What is a trait or preference you have that people don't expect you to have?
Hmm. I guess just how I don't know if this will get you in trouble on YouTube or not. Just how queer I am. Like I'm bisexual, but also non-binary. Like
Right.
I don't get gender. I'm above gender. you
Gotcha,
know,
gotcha.
that's the other thing.
Now, my friends cuss a lot on my last episodes and whatnot, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I say it on every video. This content is not made for kids, or at least these episodes aren't for kids, especially when we talk about sensitive topics like LGBT.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right. But yeah, depending on the topic or whatnot, I only make it is made for kids whenever I'm reading. I read a kids book last episode. I was like, yeah, it's made for kids. I'm reading kids
Oh,
books after all. No cuss words or anything. Because I normally don't. I
nice.
don't cuss often. I try to avoid it. But if I'm like emotionally excited, two things happen when I'm emotionally excited. One is my accent comes out. I'm really good at suppressing my accent because I have a speech impediment and it doesn't mix well with my accent that I'm originally had. And
Oh,
the other one was yeah, I don't cuss unless I'm emotionally heightened, just in general. That or if I'm doing
oh.
rap. Usually I avoid it. I have a good vernacular and a good vocabulary that I don't have a need for it,
Mhm.
but it's like some of the pet peeves kind of come out like people whenever I feel like people are talking in circles or having long-winded responses in a debate. And this is normally why I don't debate because people do these type of things often to have some sort of ulterior motive and whatnot. And I just get tired of it really because I just want to have a genuinely honest,
Yeah.
intellectually honest conversation. And it's so hard to have that when people act like this.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. But I guess to answer the question, what was it? What is there something about you that people assume because of your appearance or demeanor? I'm gonna have to say that I am bi. I am bi as well. I'm bi, but just by the way I
Nice.
act, I don't act overt. Or I don't act gay or anything. People usually just
hmm
assume that I'm straight until I,
Yeah, me neither. Like,
until I
it's
tell them.
until recently I go like, It's just like, yeah, like I want to sound more gay, but like not intrusively gay.
Right.
Like,
What was it? What is it?
but whenever I'm in a professional setting, like when I'm working, like the other job I have is cleaning service. Like we go over to a house, person's house and clean it. Like, just normally put on a t-shirt, some pants, shoes that you don't mind getting dirty if it's bad.
Of course, of course.
And of course, with the catering company, we have to wear uniforms. So while I'm on the clock, there's no time to be gay, unfortunately.
I feel it.
Unless you're my one of my supervisors, he's unapologetically like frisky all the time. It's like I want to do that, like that's so cool, but I'm afraid of what the guests will think of me.
Right. No, it's a
Well,
valid
yes
concern.
and no.
It's a valid concern. It's a valid concern. Well, let me see. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, to answer the second end of the question, what is a trait or preference you have that people don't expect you to have? Um, well, trait would be I'm ambidextrous. I don't really talk about it or mention it often, but yeah, like I play guitar. I have a left-handed and a right-handed guitar sitting right behind me actually. Whenever I was playing guitar to perform or whatnot, I was playing my right-handed guitar, and I think my right-handed guitar is a bit cooler, a bit more cooler because I drew on it. And if you ever play Halo Reach, it's my Emil helmet of guitars, and I love it because I drew on it.
Oh,
I drew on it, and it's been a guitar that's been kind of special and dear to me since high school jazz band, and that's what kind of inspired me to draw on it because it was a regular, like average, everyday, like Les Paul or Epiphone, the most common one too, Sunburst Epiphone, $279 I think it costed online. But I want to make it unique and special to me. So yeah, I drew on it, and I do have a picture on I think either Instagram or on my phone of me holding it in high school. You know, whenever I was younger looking and I had short dreads, but I cut them off, but then I'm growing them back out again. So I'm kind of in the same state that I was before. It's just it's not a mohawk
nice.
anymore. It's a full head of dreads. But yeah, it's been through a lot. Friends borrowed it. One performed live. He asked for a guitar to borrow, and he asked if he could use my Les Paul or my Epiphone, and I was like, of course, yeah. And I seen someone take a picture of him holding it. I'm like, dude, so this guitar has some history and some background to it, and I love it. So yeah, priceless to me. Did the value go down because I drew on it? Of course, right, but priceless to me. Never giving this thing out unless I get popular or whatnot, blow up, and then have enough money to make a duplicate guitar. Because I
Hell
don't mind
yeah.
about the OG. I don't mind about what's the OG, what's the copy. I don't really care about that. Probably collectors do, but I don't. This as long as it's of the essence of what I created, I'm good. But yeah, we're gonna sign off. I could start off, or you could start off with a few signing off statements or things that you want people to know. If you ain't got none, I'll just, I'll say whatever I have to say, and then we'll just sign off formally.
All say is be good people, be good decisions, be gay. I mean, yeah, send off.
That's one hell of a sign off. Okay. Okay, hold on. I gotta think of mine. That caught me off guard. Yeah. So yeah, although I do love talking about religion, although I do love talking about having discussions about trans rights and whatnot, I don't do it at the expense of people's feelings, right? Because it's like I'm careful with. I'm very, very considerate of people's feelings. I'm way too considerate, probably for my own good. And I keep in mind whenever I do these discussions or have these topics or whatnot on the channel or in Roblox in general, I don't want people to kind of come across and make me come off as like I'm a guy that's attacking your view. I'm right, you're wrong, because I've kind of grown out of that, especially early journey of atheism. I've grown out of that. Just I love having open minded discussions or whatnot. Just because I'm atheist doesn't mean I'm closed minded. I love any new challenges that Christians give me on wanting to convert back. The very last one was when one of my close cousins gave me. He said, "Pray for a month. Once you're done with that month, give it another month, and see what the results are." I tried it. I gave it an effort because it was a legit proposal from the bottom of his heart that had no type of ulterior motive behind it. I tried it. I gave my result. I even gave it the respect that it deserved, where I didn't do any of the An Atheist Walks into a Bar podcasts or streams. I dropped everything cold turkey, did the whole ritualistic praying thing. And yeah, although nothing really happened, I admire people that have that type of innovative like challenge to give people like me in order to believe. It's the A for effort for me. And what does that have to do with the signing off statement? I want people to be as open minded, as knowledge hungry, and as much of a critical thinker as they can be. If something is too good to be true, it's probably because it is. Don't just hop on the bandwagon. Do your own genuine research on whatever topic that you're going to look into and make up your own conclusion from then on. Because nothing's worse than following something that you aren't aware that is actually causing more harm than good.
Yep.
But yeah, It Swirls. This has been episode 4 of the Jabber Juice podcast, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.